Hello, and welcome to day 5, part 2, I believe. End of the first work week. I probably will also do recordings tomorrow and Sunday because I want to document every day of this. So, I got my ID for City College, as that is where the Norfolk Teacher Training Centre is based. So I'm now fully enrolled as a student. I've done a dummy run to the school I will be at. So I biked the same way I would for City College and then walked from there to the school and then from the school to City College, because I wanted to make sure I knew how long it would take, and it saves me having to do it another time. And it is 69 minutes, more or less. So I'm still going to give myself an hour and a half for that 20-minute buffer period. So say if I get a flat tyre, like my tyre pops on my journey there, then I should be okay to at least be able to notify the school that I will be late because X reason. Or if it doesn't happen till I'm nearly there, then I can use the 20 minutes to make up the time. Like, use the 20 minutes, I'll arrive 20 minutes later than I usually would, but that would still be on time. The only issue is I will need that 20 minutes to get changed from my bike clothing, because when I'm biking, I will be wearing sort of clothes more like this than the suit, effectively, that I will be wearing at the school as a teacher, or student teacher. But, yeah, that was one thing I did. Those 20 minutes will be useful for the purposes of changing, but currently, the earliest lesson is 8:30? Something like that, 25 to 9 maybe? That's the earliest lesson presently. So even if, and there's no morning staff meetings or anything at the moment. No, I can't turn that on. I've got to be going soon again. See my family. But yes, currently the earliest meeting is lesson 1, which is about 8. So I'm aiming to get there for 8. With my 20-minute buffer period, that means I've effectively got a 50-minute period from when I'm probably going to get there to when I need to, like, absolutely have to be there. So 50-minute period, I can almost certainly get there, get changed in that time, because if it's 20-minute buffer period and it takes me that time to get there, then I can get changed in the 30 minutes leading up to the first lesson. So that's the plan. For my personal development stuff today, there wasn't much professional development or personal development. It was teaching standards, which I'm going through the hassle of writing out anyway. There's just 6 and 7 that I've not written out. I've got 8, and I've got 1 through 5, but I've got to do 6 and 7, write them out, so that way I can look at them regularly to memorize them, because one of the things is I have to know them, I have to evidence them, and so they are the things I need to think about consistently going through the year. They are always going to be that, and so that's what I've got to do. Makes sense. But I can see why that would be their first one, and they're going to come back to it every so often throughout the course, because every standard has some substandards. One has 3, one has 5, and so on. And for every substandard, I need to submit 2 pieces of evidence to show I am meeting these standards. And that's part 1 of the teaching standards. Part 2 of the teaching standards is super important professionalism stuff, which is less graded and more examined. So it's not an exam. However, throughout the year on placement, I will be observed, and those observers will be looking to see, is he acting professionally? Is this a professional environment he's creating? Is he meeting part 2 of the teacher standards? And Norfolk Teacher Training Centre will ask the placement school, or schools, hopefully, maybe, has he met this? And if they say yes, I pass. If they say no, I fail. So I have to do that. So I'm going to write that out as well. I might print off that instead of write it out, because that is a separate document to these, and these do not fit on one piece of paper. That's why I'm making sort of flashcards on these weird square pieces. And I might get people to quiz me on these. I might just put TS1 on the back of Teaching Standards 1, TS2 on the back of the other one, and so on. And then that way I can quiz myself. I can put them down, information down, so I'll just say TS1, and I can say, okay, Teaching Standard 1 is to set high expectations to inspire, motivate, and challenge pupils, obviously without looking at it like I did then. That means this. Substandard A is this, substandard B is this, substandard C is this. And I can write all of that down, write my answers down, type them out, probably, and then turn it over and check. See how well I did. Teaching Standard 2, that's this, here's A, here's B, here's C, so on. And then save that document. And then maybe the next week, the next month, whatever, do it again and check Teaching Standard 1, Teaching Standard 2, and then compare the two documents that I'll have saved then. Say, is this going in? Am I memorizing it? And if not, ask for help, because that is the job of the people at the Norfolk Teacher Training Centre, to help me achieve my goal of getting the qualified teacher status. So that is the plan there. For my evening today, I'm probably going to crash pretty hard. Not going to lie, it's been a stressful week waiting on stuff like placement, enrollment. I've still not got student finance sorted out. I've done everything on my end, and then it said awaiting confirmation, first payment date 7th of the 9th. And because enrollment is usually done before we are at the college, I would have got it, but I had to wait for enrollment to be done before they would confirm my place at the college to student finance. However, I got that phone call yesterday, and I checked student finance, I think this morning, and lo and behold, it was still saying awaiting confirmation. So I emailed someone there, and they've not got back to me yet. But hopefully, now I've got my lanyard, because they didn't print it out until today. Now I've got that, they'll send it off, and then I can get paid. Because tomorrow I have a £16 bill come out of my bills account, at which point I have £14. And at some point, either late next week or early the following week, I think, I have another bill come out of my account for about £40, which would mean I can't afford to pay that unless my student finance is in, and it takes up to 3 days once they've got confirmation, which means I need them to confirm it immediately, because those 3 days very rarely include the weekend in things like this. But yes, the other thing that I feel like I should mention is part 2 of the teaching standards, the professionalism stuff, includes outside of school hours. So, if I were to upload a video of myself mooning on TikTok, or something like that, that would be grounds for being fired from whatever teaching job I was in this country. So, that's not ideal, because obviously the teaching standards are somewhat subjective. There's not a list of things, you can't do these things. It says be professional and stuff like that. So, I've got to tread a very careful line with these recordings and also anything else I do that I put into the public domain. If I do become a mixed martial arts contender, which is what I want to do, I want to semi-professionally take place. Can't do professionally because I need money, unless I get some sponsors or something. But I would like to do that going forward a little bit. I've got to be careful, because if I say anything while hyped up on adrenaline that could be construed as unprofessional as a educational professional, then the school could fire me if they wanted to. Some schools might see the act of participating in MMA fights as unprofessional. Personally, I think that it is a sport. So it would be like saying playing a game of football is unprofessional. And arguably, there may be schools that would say, no, you cannot participate in any form of sport that may or may not be broadcast because it's not professional of you. You're an academic, behave as such. But I think that those schools could probably use some rethinking in their policies. I'm going to leave it at that, because to say any more would probably be unprofessional. Yes, so that's that. I'm going to go have some tea and then see my family after getting changed into some shorts because it's too hot. Oh god, I hate having to wear trousers every single day, man. Brrr! Okay, so I will catch you cats on the flip-flop. Goodbye.